Welcome to Navigating Freedom in Federal Retirement, the beacon for federal employees navigating the complex waters of retirement planning. We recognize your unique challenges, deciphering intricate policies and optimizing your benefits. Your host is Jeff Gill, a seasoned financial wealth advisor committed to demystifying this journey for you. Our strength? A team of renowned specialists, policy experts, financial strategists, healthcare consultants, and more. Each episode aims to transform confusion into clarity, offering actionable insights and strategies. Federal employees, it's time to turn apprehension into action. The path to a confident retirement starts here. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the show. My guest today is Dr. Paul R. Lawrence. Dr. Lawrence's career and expertise make him an ideal guest to provide invaluable insights on veterans' benefits and services. His dedication to helping veterans secure their rightful benefits and transition into civilian life is not only inspiring, but also deeply impactful. We believe that featuring Dr. Lawrence on our show will not only provide our audience with essential information, but also empower them to navigate their post-military lives more confidently. You can learn more about Dr. Lawrence and his book at his website, www.paullawrence.com, and get social with him at Twitter and LinkedIn. Well, Dr. Lawrence, can you share a little bit about your background and the experience that led you to become an advocate for veterans benefits?
So sure. I was raised in a military family. My father was a career Army officer. He served in Vietnam and also Korea. And so that encouraged me and also my brother to join the Army through ROTC when we went to college. After I got out of the military, I was a consultant to government and spent a lot of time in and around the federal government, helping them do efficiencies and things like that. But I was always interested in veterans issues. And so when President Trump was elected, I got nominated to serve as the undersecretary of benefits at the VA. You actually run the benefits portfolio. It's a huge job. 30,000 people now work there. You distribute all the benefits to 6 million veterans every month. And so it was through the process of learning about these benefits that I realized this is very complicated. And also when I was in office, people used to ask me all the time, am I eligible for these benefits? What are they? And I began to dig around and found out the explanations are really rather complicated. When I got out, the administration changed. I found books, but they were really dense and hard to read. So I said, I'm going to write this book about benefits. I'm going to make it easy to understand. And I'm going to put all the benefits in one book so that people can understand them. And so I spend my time talking about the book, doing things like we're doing now to explain to veterans all the benefits they've earned. They're not entitlements, and how they can access them.
Right. With that, such a huge array of benefits. I mean, you just talked about that are available. What motivated you to ensure that the book covers everything from healthcare to education assistance?
Right. Well, I realize what happens is, if you don't know what you don't know, you can't figure out, well, I got to get 6 books on this. So I wanted to have everything all in one sort of volume, right? Because the benefits are large and they're really very powerful in terms of changing folks' life, helping them pursue their American dream. So I really thought that was one of the things, to get it into one book and then have, references to websites and other places you can go to dig deeper, but at least you can know of these things. Because once you know of them, you can, hey, this is something I can pursue further with some assistance or not. So that I thought was a real big failing from previous books, which was you had to go buy multiples of them to figure out the whole situation.
Excellent. Well, how can, it's a difficult process like you just explained, but how can the veterans effectively navigate the VA system to ensure that they have access to the benefits that they rightfully deserve?
Sure. Well, a couple ways. First, you can buy my book. That will help you. But seriously, you can also, if you're so motivated and capable, a lot of this information, although it's a little complicated, you can find on va.gov, their website. But that's part of the problem. In an effort to get everything in there, it tends to be, I don't know, it's like what I call the signs on the streets in Northern Virginia. They're really good if you know where you're going, but they really don't help anybody who doesn't know. And that's the same kind of thing at these websites. But most importantly, veterans and their families can get no-cost assistance from what are called veteran service officers, right? These are folks who've been trained in the VA processes who help veterans at no cost. You can get these from traditional veteran service organizations like the VFW, like the Wounded Warrior Project, American Legion, and DAV, Disabled American Veterans. But also each state has a state Department of Veterans Affairs, and they have service officers there. So you can always get somebody, service officer, to help you with your veterans at no cost.
Excellent. Well, I know in your book you discuss the counseling and mental health care services for veterans. Could you elaborate on the importance of the mental health support for those who have served?
Right. Well, one of the things we realize now, especially over time, is, our understanding of mental health has gotten better. I mean, if you think about it, you watch an old World War II movie, you'll see battle shock or shell shock, right? People don't want to talk about stuff. You read about people coming home from World War II. We just didn't know. Things like PTSD weren't even recognized in the mental health playbook until 1980-ish. So we really are getting more aware of that. So folks who are, since they need mental health assistance, we really do encourage them to come to the VA. This is even true if you didn't get an honorable discharge. It used to be just your discharge kind of restricted you from benefits, but this is not true for mental health. So we always encourage people, come to the VA, get some assistance, let them begin your treatment, and let them figure out how they can help you.
Excellent. With the GI Bill, I mean, it is a key benefit for many servicemen and women. With the education, what advice can you offer the veterans who are considering pursuing further education?
Yeah, well, the GI Bill, especially the education benefit of this, is one of the most powerful benefits veterans earn, okay? And so it can range from just traditional 4-year degree. I mean, it's a very powerful benefit. You serve honorably for 3 years, and you get the equivalent of a free ride to a state university. I mean, this is life-changing stuff. And for many veterans, they're the first one in their family to go to college because of it, okay? Others save it for graduate work. They say, hey, I want to become a doctor, a medical doctor, and I know medical school is much more expensive. So I'll figure out a way to pay for undergraduate work, and I'll use it for my more expensive graduate work. But there's also things as the benefits expanded, like certificates and credentials. You do some intense period of training and you get a certificate at the end, demonstrate your mastery of the subject. So for example, in this day and age, if you had a certificate on cybersecurity, you'd be invaluable in the marketplace or even in your company to get promoted. And finally, it can be used for things we once would have called the trades, truck drivers, electricians, plumbers, things like that, fastest way to a $100,000 a year job. So it's a very powerful benefit that has something in there for everybody, whether you want to go to college or not.
Excellent. Well, Dr. Lawrence, as a successful private sector executive and former undersecretary for benefits, what unique insights do you bring to the conversation on veterans benefits?
Sure. Well, what's really different about my book and this insight is I've actually been on the other side of this. I had to oversee the folks who actually administer the program. So I saw literally millions of these things get done and figured out, how do they get done most efficiently? So in addition to explaining, here's how you apply, I also offer some hints and tips to make sure that your application for benefits has the highest likelihood of being successful. So my real benefit of this, my real unique offering is I've talked to literally millions of veterans about this sort of stuff. I've had to explain this and I've had to go run down, how it actually works in the VBA systems.
Right. Well, your book also covers topics like the disability and rehabilitation. Could you highlight just some of the common challenges that veterans are facing with these areas and how your guide helps them address this?
Sure. One of the most powerful benefits is disability compensation. You've been hurt or injured during service, and so you get a tax-free monthly payment to deal with expenses and living and foregone income, so to speak, all right? There's 3 things you have to do when you apply for disability compensation. You have to demonstrate that something happened to you while you were in service. Okay, so, it could have been you were hurt in combat or in training, but it also can be while in service. I was on the post basketball team and I hurt my knee. That counts as in service. Often people have gone to the doctor because of that, so they can demonstrate this through the medical record. But if not, there's other things you can do to demonstrate something happened to you in service. And I explain that in the book. You have to demonstrate what happened to you was in fact in service. So you produce your discharge documents to show, yes, I was in service. And then you have to demonstrate that this continues to bother you today. Because obviously, if you got better, there would be no reason for disability compensation. So what I explain in the book is how to get no-cost help, like we talked a little bit before, what you have to do in terms of the steps, but also just in terms of, how you advocate for yourself and how you explain this to someone who will make a decision. Because generally, the differentiator, the explanation between who gets approved and who doesn't, or who gets the amount they think they're earned and who doesn't, is the clarity and completeness of your application. So that's really what I wanted to explain to veterans and their families. Do this well, complete it, provide all the information. That's the best path to get to yes.
Excellent. Well, how does your involvement in the Vets 2 industry align with your mission to assist veterans transforming into the private sector?
Well, certainly. One of the most important things I think veterans need to do once they leave the military, unless you've won the lottery, is go get a job. Either your own company, be an entrepreneur, or go work in a company. Because I think the connectivity of a job gives you purpose, it gives you meaning, it gives you money to support your life. Vets to Industry is a nonprofit formed by veterans who realize that as they transition, there's so much out there. Let's do more to help veterans connect with employers so they can get jobs. So they convene, they make resources available to transitioning service members for free on their website, and they convene virtual meetings to connect veterans looking for jobs, sometimes military spouses, and employers so they can facilitate those interactions to try to get them, significant and meaningful jobs.
Excellent. Well, Dr. Lawrence, for your audience of military veterans and political engagement individuals, what's the one key message you hope they'll take away from reading your book?
Well, certainly. I think people tend to forget these are earned benefits, right? I mean, our national security strategy depends upon a volunteer force, right? People volunteered. Hopefully in the military, they get, competitive pay, good experience and training. But the American people through Congress, once you've left, have provided a whole series of benefits to our service members. Again, not entitlements, benefits that only the select group has gotten. These correspond to things that relate to the American dream. Help you get a job, the GI Bill, help you purchase a home, the home loan guarantee. All these things are designed to help our veterans accelerate their pursuit of the American dream. You're not taking it away from another veteran when you apply for it, the way Congress has set up the money. So this is a very powerful benefit from service. And I hope that all veterans, really access what's appropriate for their situation.
Excellent. Well, I just want to say how interesting it's been having you be here today. Dr. Paul Lawrence, thank you. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And then, if folks have a chance, do get my book on Amazon. So thank you.
All right. You've been listening to Navigating Freedom in Federal Retirement. We'll see you again next week for another episode.
This concludes another episode of Navigating Freedom in Federal Retirement podcast. As federal employees, your retirement journey is unique, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. With host Jeff Gill and our lineup of experts, we aim to bring clarity to your path ahead. If you found value in today's conversation, please share it with a fellow federal employee. Remember to subscribe for continued insights. Until next time, here's to your informed and bright retirement future.